from food supplements, but I'm talking about food. I'm talking about just regular really high quality food. And nowadays we're bombarded. Yes, thank you so much for your feedback. Yes, and we have people from all over the place, from Europe, Croatia. We have people from Hungary, from the United States. And it is, wouldn't you agree with me that it is hard to find good food? At least, we're here in the United States, and there. What is that? Let me know. We're live, so thank you so much. And any comments, just type them here. You want to open up the microphone, you can do that as well. We are live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, which is really great as well. And so wouldn't you agree, all of you, that it is not easy to find the best nutrition? Just type it here in the chat. If you are here with me on Zoom, you guys are one of the most active in our entire community. So it is not easy to find good nutrition. It is extremely hard to find, at least here in the United States. If you want to eat properly, something that is going to be nutritious, something that doesn't have pesticides. I don't know how it is in Hungary or Croatia. Mostly what I have seen in Europe is that you guys have really great food. And it's amazing. But there are some countries like in Latin America and Asia, in Mexico, in the United States, where all of the food is mostly processed, highly processed food, and it's very hard for you and for anybody to actually find quality nutrition unless you go to a farmer's market, or unless you actually get that food yourself. You grow it on your garden, or anything like that. Yes, Maria is saying that good nutrition is good and easily available in Europe, which is incredible. But today's topic, as we already mentioned on WhatsApp, we're gonna be talking about something that is very precise and is very specific, which is why beauty starts with circulation, hormones, and inflammation. And it's very clear. I'm gonna be very. Give me a second. I'm pulling out some notes here, but it's very clear. We nowadays, people are looking for quick fixes, and there's a lot of TikToks, a lot of videos on Facebook, a lot of reels that are trying to sell people a quick fix or a miracle. But I really want to talk to you about what you can do and how your body actually works, especially when you are entering your 30s, your 40s, and your body is not the same as when you were 10 or 20. Now, how can we support our body naturally? I want to just tell you a couple points, because this is a health and beauty talk. Beauty is not just skincare. Beauty is not just what you put on, the makeup or the creams and the serums and all those things. Fatigue, weight gain, poor sleep, and joint pain, those are the things that actually helping to get our body to age faster. And this is an internal imbalance, especially when we're not having a good quality sleep, when we're stressed, when we're eating just because we are nervous. We don't even realize, like some of us, like one of my challenges that I have is eating properly in a way that I'm not overeating. So that's me. I because sometimes I'm stressed and I'm just like grabbing things, the crackers or the bread, or the cheese, just because I'm snacking. Those things come because we're stressed most of the time. So we have poor sleep, we have different things. Supplements should support, but they do not replace medical care, or do not replace natural stuff. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here. It's amazing to see more and more people. We have people from Italy. We have Anna, Carolina, Nascimento. Hello. how are you? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola. Anyway, so as you're joining, let me know where's that you're connecting from. And, going back to the topic, how many of you believe what we spoke about last week? Type it here in the chat. Type it here in the chat, maybe on Zoom, maybe on Instagram, maybe on Facebook. Let me know. Let me know. So we are going to give you a recap, and then we're gonna just go into our topic, which is, why all of these things that I just mentioned, and I'll repeat it. Why is that beauty starts with good circulation, with a balance in your hormones and anti-inflammatory things that we can take or do for us to feel great. Now, all right, perfect. So going back to the topic, many women or men think that they're failing, but they're really not. Like, we could think, at the end of a year, how many of you were like, man, I wish I had completed all of my goals about my weight gain or about my business? How many of you were like, man, I just crushed it? How many of you were there? Or, you don't have to type it, but if you want to brag, come on and just say it. And how many of you were like, man, I wish I could have done better? That's me. I wish I could have done better. If that's you, also type it here in the chat. Number two, number one, if you crushed it. Number two, if you wish you did better. Now, there are many links to inflammation into thank you, Maria. Me too. I'm honest. I'm very honest. To different problems, in our body. There are, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor. And by the way, this real talk video, uh, YouTube video, Facebook Live is not here to give you medical advice. I'm not here to replace your doctor. I'm not here to tell you how you can cure a disease or how you can, get, a condition diagnosed, nothing such. I'm just giving this information so you can actually, take action for yourself, because I believe, that anti-aging has got to do with your health all over, from the inside out, from, your cells, from all of your organs, and then it reflects on your skin and also your mental health. Have you seen people, and just type here in the chat yes or number four, have you ever seen people who are always angry, who are always, upset, they're stressed, they have an attitude, they're mean to people? They usually have their face is like all wrinkled, all like, grayish. It's like kind of like it looks how they talk, right? You can just type here number four, yes, Sania, Maria. It reflects. Why? Because they are ugly with people. They're like, not, they're not being nice. They're probably not being, a good citizen. Reflects. So mental health has a lot to do with how you are inside and outside, how you approach life, how you have hope and joy and faith in people and peace, among yourself and others, and all of these things about mental health. And this is not a mental health talk at all, but it reflects, and it's a part, of our well-being. Another part, it's, our skin, and this is the largest organ. Another part is our circulation, or cardiovascular system, because this is what just gives energy, and more than energy, oxygen through the blood to all of our organs. And then, also our cognitive function, and then it goes, our digestive, health, and also kidney health, also, liver health. There are many things, and hormonal health. And all of these things I'm telling you are actually, we shouldn't see them separately, but the medical field does, which is great, because people actually can get um, proper care. I'm not here saying that the medical field is not good. They're amazing doctors. But you know what? When we're talking about our own health as citizens, we should look at it as an entire thing. Now, Sanya, yes, those people who are always angry or they have an attitude, they're pessimist. And unfortunately, there are medical studies that are linking major diseases to having a really poor mental health. Now, going back into the topic, which, I told you I was going to be very brief, inflammation is like, the background noise in our body because you don't always feel it, but it drains everything. What's inflammation, Danny? Well, it goes from something simple as getting a bruise. Have you ever gotten a bruise? Everybody has. Like, just type it here in the chat, number 5. If you ever, hit yourself against a corner, or maybe you had a little accident outside, or maybe you fell on the stairs, just type number 5. This is as simple as it can get when it comes down to inflammation. You can see it. You can actually see, the bruise. You can actually see, if you get a cut, then, it's inflamed. And if you get, a little bit of an infection, even more. But what I'm trying to say is inflammation, it's not only like the background noise that you and I don't see when it's inside. When it's outside, it's very clear. And we try to, when you're injured, when you have a bruise, we're trying to take care of ourselves better. But what if you don't know what's happening inside? You don't know what's happening inside. But this is how is that we can support our body. First of all, very, very, very straight and honest, get a good night's sleep. you know get to work on your mental health. Get to be at peace with everybody. Get to be okay with people. Stay away from the news. I am trying my best, but these past few days, we have seen so many great things happening around. And the news is not the best source of information. Get away from negative people. And this just comes down to mental health, but also with proper rest so our body can actually repair itself. And when you talk about those things, what else can we do? Well, get sun. Go and get a really sun bath. Just go outside. There are many people that say that at certain time during the day is the best day. Some of them say that it's at 7, 8 in the morning when everything is fresh, even if it's very cold. Get a good sleep. As I was telling you, that's crucial. Eat properly. Don't just overeat or undereat. Get to have an exercise schedule. All of these things that I'm telling you, they require zero spending on any supplements. They require nothing, zero. But how many of us do it? Let's be honest, not everybody, right? Now, but when it comes down to supplements, now that I gave you some tips, because now with all of these little practices that you and I can actually do that don't require a lot of money, we can actually improve our life. Now, how can we improve circulation? We do at NH Global have different products, and today I'm gonna emphasize two of them, which they're our main flagship products. But we have, for inflammation, we have both of the products that I'm going to talk about working in favor of getting you to feel better. But Refine, as you can see here, Refine is a combination of ginkgo and ginseng. How many of you know Refine? Just type it here. If you're on Instagram, maybe you have never tried it. Just type I have not tried it, or type yes, I have tried it. I'm here also on Zoom. People are saying that they have tried. Yes, most of you have tried it. We're on our group on Facebook. Most people have tried our products and they're really good. Now, Refine has a combination of ginkgo and ginseng. Ginkgo helps with circulation and brain oxygen. Ginseng helps everybody with stress adaptation and energy, which in reality, for our topic, for health and beauty, it's really great for mental fatigue, for brain fog, for low energy from thyroid imbalance, and people who feel tired because they are constantly working or overworking themselves in different places at work or at school or things like that. Now, How can I define refine? Refine is not a stimulant. It supports how our body is already producing energy, and it can help you and me, have a better outcome when it comes down to, things like good energy that doesn't just drop off, because you have, the caffeine. How many of you like coffee? I love coffee, but whenever I drink too much coffee, then I get jittered. I get like, the jitters, and then, the energy goes like poof. This one doesn't do that. This one doesn't have, the jitters. You don't feel hyper alert, and you feel okay. And plus, what it gives you, like if you really want to have a really good outcome whenever you're at work and there's a lot of stress because you can't avoid it, Refine is a great option for that. Now, let's talk about Enhance, which is another great product, which is one of my favorites. For me, I'm gonna tell you that this is a must in my life, like a must, and especially if you want to protect your joints and your bones and your mobility. This is it, and also for inflammation. Black cumin seed oil, which is one of our main ingredients in Enhance, is organic and it's cold pressed, promotes the balance in immunity and also promotes an anti-inflammatory, way for our body to do better. Now, it also has grapeseed oil and resveratrol, which are antioxidants and promote circulation as well. Vitamin D3 and K2, which, promote bone and joint health and immune health. And it also has avocado oil, which is one of the carriers for vitamin D3. Now, it is important to know that everything that you take that I'm just telling you about, or any other food supplement, you need to consult with your physician if you are under supervised care, or if you have questions, because anybody should always, before starting anything new, you need to do your due diligence. You need to actually go and find out what your doctor thinks. There are some doctors that they say, I don't know, here in the US, doctors are not opposed to food supplements. Actually, they promote them, and not just because they get paid for that, but they promote them generally. We have a free market, and we have many places, as NH Global is one of those markets. And in Europe, I don't know how things are, girls. Let me know here in Zoom or in any other platform. Okay, Amabella saying that she's using it and she's up to date. Well, if you're taking Enhance, and if you've been taking it for a long time, for plus 2 weeks plus, like more than 2 weeks consistently, you're gonna see that if you have arthritis or if you have joint issues, you're gonna see that your joints, alongside water and good hydration, you're gonna see that an improvement, like in elasticity. You're gonna feel better. It's not gonna solve arthritis. It's not going to cure you from it. It's not gonna take away your pains and any of those things, but it will help you for sure. So if you want to see a really good result, I recommend that you try it at least a really good month, so you can see how is that you're doing. Yes, and Maria is saying that she's using it from the first days. I'm gonna tell you that there are testimonials from people, one after one. At least some of the ones that I want to mention are from people with arthritis who have actually seen that they're not in pain. So they're asymptomatic, which means that they still have arthritis. It doesn't mean that it takes away the pain, but it's helping with joint health, which is really great. Now, there are medical studies, by the way, on black cumin seed oil that have been documented that taking it for over 2 weeks, you can see an improvement on, the decrease on inflammation, especially on joint health. And if you talk about about these things at the cellular level, then you know that it can also help you. Now, how is there any questions here before we move forward? But how can we take it? What's your routine? What is the things that you can do so you can feel better? You can avoid inflammation, take stress with a little bit better way, like, because we're gonna be stressed, we're gonna have work, we're gonna have things to do, we're gonna be on the run some of the times. Well, you can take refine is great for those stressful days, for the brain fog, for all those things, cognitive function. If you have a person that is dealing with schizophrenia, it might be very helpful to help the brain. I'm not saying that it's going to cure it, because it doesn't. People who have AD, also people who have autism, they have seen, some good benefits. We're not saying, and I just tell you, never promote anything. Those of you who are promoting our products, never give an expectation to a person that might not be realistic, because while I can get a really great result with refine, maybe my mom or my sister, or the person that purchased it from me, or any other person might not feel anything. That's how it is. It's an adaptogen. So it might help me, because I might need some of the nutrition of the active ingredients of ginkgo and ginseng, but it might not help other people. So when we take our supplements, they might really help us, especially when we take them long term. How can we take it? In the morning, I just advise, like, if you like to take it directly in the morning or midday, take your refine. And enhance, I usually take it at night. I take double dose at night, because I don't want to forget. Plus, my stomach is in a better position after I have my last meal, which is probably around 6 or 7 in the evening. I don't recommend that you eat after 7 or 8. This doesn't promote your balance in your gut health. So that's how I would recommend that you do it. If you want to do it in the morning and at night, you can do both of them as well. What do you need to expect? Within 1 week, at least with, refine, you're going to expect to have better mental clarity. It's not going to happen overnight, but in a week, you should see that you are remembering your passwords. And there are people actually here. Maria told me something about the passwords. I don't know if you still remember this testimonial, or any of you have any testimonial with remembering better things with refine. In 2 to 3 weeks, with enhance, you can feel a reduced joint discomfort. Will you still have arthritis? Probably so. Will you still have issues with your cartilage? Maybe so. You still need to do your exercises. You still need to walk at least 30 minutes a day, and you need to really hydrate yourself. But if you take these for 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to start to see the improvement on the joint discomfort. Now, for 4 to 6 weeks, what can you feel if you're taking both of them? Better sleep. You're gonna start feeling your skin glowing. And I'm not even talking about collagen here, but if you take just enhance, this one can help you from the inside out, because of the resveratrol and the black cumin seed and all the oils inside. So you're gonna be feeling stable energy, but you need to be consistent, and not only with supplements, but you need to be consistent with daily walks, with great food, with lowering down your sugar intake, with you not taking so many carbohydrates, because cancer cells and abnormal cells and anything that is related to inflammation is thriving on carbs and glucose. So be careful on that. And what is very important is consistency matters more than dosage. Consistency matters more than, if you take twice a dose or anything like that. So if your body is asking you for support, guys, listen. Not everything needs to be extreme. Not everything needs to be, well, I need to take double the dose on enhance. No. But sometimes it just needs the right nutrients. Sometimes it needs, the rest, and I'm gonna just ask you guys before I close it up today. Ask any questions. Ask any questions here. before we go, because we're like, if you have any questions about these things, about inflammation, about hormones, maybe it's for you, maybe you have an issue with something, and I might be able to help you. I'm not a doctor, but I am generally educated on the ingredients of our products, and it might help you or somebody that you are asking to try any of our products. So let me see, are there any questions before we close it up? Let me see. Everybody's good? Just type it here in the chat. No questions, or type number 6 if you have no questions. You have a question, just type it, or open up the microphone if you're on Zoom, because obviously, these people who are live with us here, they can actually ask questions. Let's see. Let me see. Let me check. All good. 6, no questions. Perfect. So we're going to wrap it up with this. If you want to hear this in Spanish, I'm going to be jumping on to do another live in my private channels. We're also having this health and beauty talk en español, in Spanish, in just a few minutes. I'm going to be connecting on my channels. So if you want or have friends who want to listen to this in Spanish, just go to Dani Nedelko in any platform, and you're going to be able to see it in just a few minutes. Thank you so much, and we'll see you very soon. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.